Hello everyone, welcome to a Parashat video, Parashat Balak. So Parashat Balak is a fascinating parasha where we're introduced to two wicked people, Balak and Bilaam. So Parashat begins with Balak ben Sipor sees what's happening, what Bnei Yisrael did to the Emori. Now let's give a little bit of a background. Bnei Yisrael is now at the end of the 40 years, about to enter Eretz Yisrael. These parashiyot are really towards the very end. Moshe is going to die soon, and before that he's going to give his last speech to the people in Sefer Devarim, and then they're going to go into Eretz Yisrael. Now the way they traveled into Eretz Yisrael, they went down all the way up, from the bottom of Jordan all the way up. Now Jordan is to the east of Eretz Yisrael. If you ever go to the Dead Sea, you look across, you see Jordan across the Dead Sea. So they're in Jordan, which we call in Chumash Ever HaYarden, which is the other side of the Jordan River, and they're traveling up. Now as they travel up, they fight wars. They defeat Sichon and Og. Now the last place that they're going to land in Jordan before they cross into Eretz Yisrael is a place called Arvot Moab, the plains, the flatlands of Moab. Now the king of Moab, Balak, is afraid of Bnei Yisrael, that he's going to wage war against his people. So Balak understands, I'm not just going to fight a war against them. I saw what all the other nations did when they fought wars against Bnei Yisrael, and ultimately they were not successful. So he has this idea to hire a man named Bilaam, who was from Midian. Now Midian was from a nation that's in a different place, towards Syria, and they were not in the way of Bnei Yisrael. They had nothing to be afraid of, which means Balak, at least, he has something to be afraid of, that Bnei Yisrael is going to wage war against him. Bilaam just hated Bnei Yisrael and he wanted to curse Bnei Yisrael. Now Bilaam had power of the mouth. He had power to curse. Now Bilaam was a prophet, was a Navi of the non-Jews. And of course he was a terrible, wicked person. We're going to see soon what he wants to do to Bnei Yisrael. So Moab is afraid of Bnei Yisrael. So the people of Moab tell the Ziknei Midian, now the elder people of Midian. Now Rashi says that Moab and Midian were two nations that were always at war, but because of Bnei Yisrael, they joined forces to fight against Bnei Yisrael. And the people of Moab say, we're worried that Bnei Yisrael is going to wipe us out like an ox eats the grass of a field and leaves nothing left. So they send messengers to Bilaam. Now again, Bilaam was a sorcerer, he was a magician, he had the ability to use his mouth to bless or to curse, and he's going to want to curse Bnei Yisrael. So they say, this nation, they're fighting against us, please, I want to hire you to curse Bnei Yisrael. Because I know, and this is the Balak talking, and the people of Moab, and it's a fascinating pasuk, Et asher tevarech mevorach. If you bless, it will happen. Va'asher ta'or yuad, and if you curse, that will also happen. So Bilaam, like we said, had the power of the mouth. So they go to Bilaam and they say what Balak said. They're trying to make a business deal. They come to Bilaam and they say, Balak sent us to hire you to curse Bnei Yisrael. So Bilaam says, sleep here tonight and let me see what Hashem says. Rashi explains, because Bilaam was only able to have prophecy at night. So they stay with him. Hashem appears to Bilaam at night. Vayomer, he says, Miha anashim ha'ele imach, who are these people with you? So Bilaam says to Hashem, Balak sent these people, and I want to curse Bnei Yisrael. Vayomer Elohim el Bilaam lo telech imahim. Hashem tells Bilaam, don't go with these people, don't curse Bnei Yisrael, ki baruch hu, because Bnei Yisrael are a people who are blessed, and you can't go curse them. Now you would think that Bilaam, I don't know, does Bilaam really care about what Hashem says? Bilaam wakes up in the morning and he tells the officers of Moab that were sent by Balak, the king of Moab, go home, Hashem told me I can't come. So now they go home and they tell Balak, Bilaam, we try to hire him to curse Bnei Yisrael. He says he can't do it. So Balak is persistent. He sends more messengers to Bilaam. And he says, please do this. Now Bilaam says back to Balak, he says, I can't do it. Hashem told me I can't do it. It's fascinating again that he actually cares about what Hashem said. But Bilaam understood that if Hashem is going to stop him, he's not going to have power. So Bilaam tells the people of Balak, if you would give me a full house of kesef v'zahav, of silver and gold, I can't violate the word of Hashem. Rashi says, by him saying, even if you would give me so much gold and silver, I would not be able to go against Hashem. Rashi says he was trying to hint to them, but if you give me a lot of gold and silver, maybe I could change my mind. You see that Bilaam was a very greedy person. He was trying to hint to them what his price was. Now, in this situation, they stay another night. Vayavo Elohim el Bilaam laila. Hashem appears to Bilaam at night. He says, you know what? If you want to go, go. Now what happened? So the Gemara says we learn from here that if a person wants to do something, Hashem's not going to stop them. If you want to do it, Hashem says to Bilaam, I told you not to go. You want to go, go. This is an example of when a parent tells their child. Kid tells his parent, Dad, can I do this? And the father says, no. And they said, please. The father says, okay, if you want to go, go. Now, of course, we understand that the father doesn't really want the child to go, but the child is persistent. Okay, so if you want to go, go. You'll figure it out. You'll see that it was a bad thing. So Bilaam is now going to go curse Bnei Yisrael because Hashem said he could go. Now, the reality is first Hashem says don't go. Bilaam was pushy. Hashem says, okay, you want to go, go. Now, of course, the rabbis explain that now Hashem didn't command him not to go, but he sees clearly that Hashem doesn't want him to go, and he doesn't care about what Hashem wants. Now, the next day, Pasuk says, Bilaam wakes up in the morning, and he saddles his donkey. Now Rashi says something fascinating. Pasuk says, Vayakum, he wakes up early in the morning and he saddles his donkey. Now Bilaam was a VIP. He had a lot of servants. It doesn't make sense that he should prepare his own donkey, but Bilaam was so driven to curse Bnei Yisrael that he saddled his donkey himself, even though it was illogical for a person of his stature to do that. Now Rashi says, this sounds familiar, because you remember by Avraham Avinu, that Avraham Avinu also woke up early in the morning and he also saddled his donkey, because Avraham Avinu was the exact opposite. He was so consumed with love for Hashem that he woke up early and he saddled his donkey even though he had many servants. So Bilaam saddles his donkey and Hashem gets angry at him. And you're like, wait, why did Hashem get angry at him? He told him he could go. Because I know I told you you could go, but I don't want you to go. So what Hashem does is he places a malach in the middle of the road to stop him. Now Bilaam doesn't see this malach, he doesn't see this angel, but his donkey sees the angel. Bilaam is traveling on his donkey, and his donkey sees the angel, and the angel has a sword, and again it's the vision of what an animal saw and the Bilaam couldn't see, and the donkey moved away and went to the side of the road, and the malach tried to block it again, and there's a fence on both sides. So Bilaam, the angel presses Bilaam's leg into the wall. Now he probably hurt his leg very, very much. So this is again an angel's trying to block Bilaam from going to curse Bnei Yisrael. Again, this is Hashem's protection to Bnei Yisrael. So this happens again, and the donkey sees the malach of Hashem, and Bilaam now it stops, it tries to go to the side, and Bilaam hits his donkey with a stick. Now comes the famous story of the speaking donkey. Bilaam's donkey starts talking to Bilaam. He says to Bilaam, what did I do to you? You hit me 3 times. What are you hitting me for? Bilaam says, what are you doing? You keep stopping, you keep going to the side. He says, and if I had a sword, I would kill you. Now, right there, Rashi says, Bilaam's people says, 1 second, he could curse a whole nation, but now he needs a sword to kill his animal? Why doesn't he just kill his animal with the mouth? So they started to see that maybe he doesn't have the powers that he thought he did. So Bilaam has this discussion with his donkey, and now all of a sudden Hashem opens the eyes of Bilaam and he sees the malach of Hashem. And the malach tells Bilaam, why do you keep hitting your donkey? And again, this is like a whole conversation between Bilaam first and his donkey, and then Bilaam and the angel. Now you stop here for a minute. At this point, what should happen is Bilaam should be so floored and so taken aback, he should run home. Say, my donkey spoke. Obviously Hashem doesn't want me to do this. But Bilaam is so stubborn, even though he sees a speaking donkey, he's not going to stop to curse Bnei Yisrael. And not only that, but the malach says to Bilaam, same thing, if you want to go, go. Okay, now, wow, so Bilaam has his permission, and he continues to proceed to curse Bnei Yisrael. So now what they do is they go to a place called Kiryat Chutzot. Now you have the 2 people, Bilaam and Balak. Again, Bilaam is the one who's going to curse Bnei Yisrael, and Balak is the king of Moab who hires Bilaam. So they bring korbanot. Now what's amazing is they actually bring korbanot to Hashem because they're asking Hashem for success in this endeavor to be able to curse Bnei Yisrael. So what happens is Bilaam says, let's see what Hashem puts in my mouth. And he gets ready to curse Bnei Yisrael, and out of his mouth come blessings. And this is amazing. Bilaam intended to curse Bnei Yisrael, and from the curses came all berachot. So this happens 4 times that Bilaam tries to curse Bnei Yisrael, and blessings come out. Let's just list some of the berachot of Bilaam. One of them is Hen Am Levadat Yishkon. This is a people who lives levadat. They live alone. They're unique. They're special. Another blessing is Lohibit Avin B'Yaakov. Hashem can't look negatively at Yaakov. Adonai Elohav Imo, because Hashem is with them. Utruat Melech Bo. The rabbis explain the word Tiruah could mean either they have the mitzvah of shofar. We read this pasuk on Rosh Hashanah in the Musaf, or they're a reya. Resh Ayin is like a chaver. They're close to Hashem. You have some of the other berachot, the famous beracha of Matovu ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael. How beautiful are their tents. The Gemara explains that the windows of their tents did not face each other for modesty and privacy. So he saw how modest the people were. He saw how much they had tzniut. The rabbis explain that when he praised their ohalecha and mishkenotecha, he was really also praising their batei kenesiot and batei midrashot. So even Bilaam saw the beauty of Bnei Yisrael and how special they were, and that happened 4 times. 4 times Bilaam tries to curse Bnei Yisrael, and he eventually blesses Bnei Yisrael. And obviously Balak is very angry at Bilaam, but what could you do? Hashem did not allow me to curse Bnei Yisrael. Now at the very end of the parasha, they do have some success. Because Bilaam gives Balak advice. I know I couldn't curse Bnei Yisrael, but if I could get them to sin, Hashem will get very angry at them. So what happens is he gets them to sin with Avodah Zarah through the daughters of Moab. The daughters of Moab come and they get the people to sin with Avodah Zarah. So there's a plague and 24,000 people die. Now there was one of the Nisi'im of the Shevatim, the Shevet of Shimon. His name was Zimri. He was sinning, and there was a man named Pinchas, and Pinchas killed him in the act. Now we're going to see in the beginning of next week's parasha that some of the people were very mad. How could you kill one of the leaders of the Nasi of a tribe? And in the beginning of next week's parasha, Hashem is going to praise Pinchas, and he's going to say about Pinchas that if he did not do it, I would have continued killing Bnei Yisrael. He stopped the plague at 24,000 people. So it was actually a beneficial, positive thing what Pinchas did. So bottom line is we have in this amazing parasha, we have the king of Moab, whose name is Balak, who is afraid of Bnei Yisrael, and he hires Bilaam to curse Bnei Yisrael, and Bilaam goes through this back and forth. First Hashem tells him, don't go. He really wants to go. Hashem says, okay, if you want to go, go. Then he travels, he sees the malach, and the donkey keeps pushing to the side 3 times, and Bilaam hits his donkey 3 times. Then finally Bilaam sees the malach, and the malach says, what'd you do? Why'd you hit your donkey 3 times? And you have before that you have the talking donkey, and the donkey says to Bilaam, why'd you hit me 3 times? Bilaam is not fazed. He keeps proceeding ahead, tries to curse Bnei Yisrael. Ultimately, he's not successful. The 4 times he tries to curse Bnei Yisrael, he actually blesses Bnei Yisrael. Just one more thing, parent, as a side point, is the beracha of Bilaam of Matovu ohalecha Yaakov Mishkenotecha Yisrael. So that pasuk we say by weddings. Our Hazanim, they sing it by a wedding. So my father would always ask me a question: why at a wedding, which is such a beautiful moment, do we quote the beracha of Bilaam? Aren't there so many other berachot that we could quote? Why would we want to quote a beracha of such a rasha that we sing actually this beracha by a wedding? I'm not sure what the answer is. You guys could think about it and let me know what you think. But bottom line is that Bilaam tried to curse Bnei Yisrael. Eventually he blessed them. And the end of the parasha, even though he was not successful by cursing them, he did get them to sin, and 24,000 people of Bnei Yisrael died. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.